Chapter 2 is about the information system. Now we will study the information system and we will try to propose the new information system. We can plan how we can develop an information system for any area. So in this section, we will analyze the information system needs of banking information system, because in last lecture we have studied the bank information system, and in next project we will design a information system. We will plan an information system that will be about the university. Now bank and information system. Now we will discuss how was the operations before the invention of computers or information systems. We will discuss different operations that are used inside the banks. For the opening of an account before the information system, the customer have to visit the bank. Now it's easy as for opening an account, but previous area or in previous time, we have to do a lot of work for fulfilling the different requirements that are provided by the banks. First thing is that customer must have to visit the bank, and then there will be a form. He or she will fill that form and then sign it. Manually, we have to fill that form. There was no computers, so we can use these computers to filling the forms. Now we are using different types of sources, like we can use computers to fill these forms. And after filling up that form, customer have to provide the necessary documents in hard copy, like in an ID card, their documents about the residence proof, etc. So the customer have to prove his or her identity. After that, the customer must have to visit the bank along with a person that has already account in that specific branch of the bank. So we need another person along with us for the opening of bank. That is not the formality for today's requirements for opening an account. After a long process verification, the bank keep record of customers stored in individual postcard. Like a file will be maintained inside the system, a paper file will be maintained, in which we have to attach a postcard. In on that postcard, the picture of the customer is placed, the ID card of the customer is placed, and the signatures are kept. And when we write any statement or we want to perform any transaction, the manager will match that signatures that are put inside the postcard. And after that, the banks has to maintain the ledger book, like a book that has the all history of transaction. That is also a manual book. The customer and as well as the manager and the clerk have to put the manual entry inside the ledger book. And after that, like nowadays we have ATM cards and checkbooks, but at that time the customer have the passbooks, in which the customer will put the record of his or her transactions. So for opening an account, it takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or several weeks. It was a time consuming function. Nowadays we can open an account within 30 to 40 minutes. Now we have to fill and sign the form, but now that form is computerized form. Only we have to put the information inside the computer, and we don't need any person for the verification. Only we need the ID card. We will provide the ID card, and biometric verification will be performed at banks, and they will assign us the account number at the same day, at same time, and they will send the request of checkbook and ATM card to the head office, and we can receive that ATM card and checkbook after 14 to 15 days. So at the spot we can deposit money inside our account, because we know what's our account number. So that is not so much time consuming. Only we have to wait for the ATM card or for the checkbook. Now withdraw. If we want to withdraw money from the bank in previous time, the first thing is that we have to write the check and fill the withdraw slip along with the check. In withdraw slip, we have to mention the account number and name, sender name, receiver name. And after that, we have to hand over that check as well as the passbook that have the transaction record of the customer to the clerk, and then the clerk will give us the token, same as we can receive the token from the banks. And then after completing that process, another clerk will checks the ledger. In the ledger, the clerk will check if you have the sufficient balance inside your account or not. If you have sufficient balance inside your account, Then the clerk will post the entry inside the ledger as well as in the passbook. And the same entry will be put inside the withdraw slip. Then officer checks the postcard. Now the verification will be done on the officer's side. The signature will be matched that are available inside the postcard, and they will verify your ID card details and your other details inside your postcards. Now, after the verification of sign, again the passbook, ledger, check, and withdraw slip forwarded to the cashier. Now the cashier have to check either the bank has the sufficient amount or not. If the bank has not sufficient amounts, the customer also have to wait for many hours so they can make it possible to take amount from the head office or from any customer that are here inside the bank who will deposit that amount inside the bank. So it will take the whole day of the customer if they want to make any transaction or they want to take the money from the bank. Now we only have to put the ATM card inside the ATM machine and we can make the transaction or we can take the money from the ATM machines. Now we have to fill the checkbook only, and then we have to submit that check to the cashier. We have to take the token, and then only they will check your account details from the computer, and they will hand over the cash towards the customer. We can simply take the cash from the cashier. We don't want to wait for meeting any other requirements. We have don't need to visit 3 to 4 persons for that process. Only we have to go towards the cashier, and then we can take the cash from our bank, and we can take cash from the ATM machines as well. So now the process of withdraw is easy as compared to the previous work. Now, profit calculations. If anyone have an saving account inside the bank, the profit calculation will be done by the bank quarterly, after 3 months, after 6 months, or after a year inside the bank accounts. And the banks need a lot of time to calculate that amount inside the bank because they are doing the manual work, and there is no information system or no centralized system inside the banks. So they have to give the bank holidays, and customer have to suffer if they need the money at that time, or if they are facing any problems, they was unable to do any transaction in these days. It takes 2 or 3 days for the profit calculation, and banks seem to have used these holidays, so customer suffers a lot because the banks are updating their information on quarterly basis after 3 months or after 6 months. So after every 3 to 6 months, customer have to face the closure of banks up to 2 and 3 days. So customers are suffering a lot because of these holidays. Now the bank have to calculate the interest on saving accounts as well as in the previous time. Different formulas are used on the calculations. There is no manual work is involved. Different computer softwares are available. By using that softwares, we can automatically generate the interest ratio inside the saving bank account, and we can calculate that amount and can put that amount, post that account inside the customer's account. So profit posted to the accounts automatically on daily, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annually basis. Even today, when there is a technology to do these works, still the banks have a holiday after 6 months, and they have to update their maintenance or their updation of accounts is required. But they are doing that transactions or that work at the time in which the transaction has minimum rate, like after 2 a.m. or after 3 to 4 a.m. they are performing that calculations. So customers are easy with the banks. Now, data storage and backup was a real issue in the previous time because there is a lot of manual work involved in any transaction in any storage. So we need stores to maintain over hard copy, over ledgers, over postcards, over passbooks. Each and everything is available in form of hard copy or in paper form. So maintenance and the storage is also a very big problem. Now the books were maintained under double bookkeeping. We have to make the photocopy of each document. So extra space is required to keep that backup. And at the end of every day, the transaction were tallied and the branch wise journal ledger is balanced. Also, we have to maintain a journal ledger inside each branch. And after the closure of the bank, the workers or the employees have to put all transactions inside that journal ledger book, and they have to tally the amount that is available inside the bank. Now there was systems for sending weekly reports physically. We are sending that reports in the paper form, and at the central levels they are consolidated on the weekly basis to have a bank wise journal ledger, like we are sending over record towards the head office on the weekly basis. The main problem was that the branch needs a lot of storage place for keeping backup of the data. There were a lot of chances of data loss due to the natural disaster, or if there is any issue inside the store, like if data is burned out, there is no other resource of data, or there is no other thing from where we can take the backup of our data, or we can upload other copy of data inside the bank. So that is also very risky to store data inside the bank or inside the stores. And also we have to store the data at a large space. So recovery of data is not quick process. Now we have computers to input data, and a lot of applications are there for keeping up that record, like database management systems are available inside the computer applications. By using that database administration systems, we can also maintain the record, and we can also update over data. We can remove the duplicate values from the data, or we can give different type of queries, and by using that queries we take some kind of data or some sort of data from the given records, and we can also study that data from the database management system. That was not possible in previous time, because maintaining data is also very difficult task. So it is not easy to read that data, to study that data, and after the study we was unable to make the decisions on that data. Now taking and storing backup is so easy. We have a lot of ways to store backups. We can use CD storage space, we can use hard disk, external hard disk for storing of data. We can use any form of data, or the space is used for any space is used to take backup of our data, and we can store that backup in 2 or 3 places, so we can recover it easily. Like we can study, or we can take the example of 9/11 incident in USA. They have destroyed each and everything inside their offices, but very soon they recovered their all data that was available in backup form, and they start their working after 2 or 3 days. Now analyzing data and decision making. Before the information system, keeping the record of data was a challenging job. So studying that data or analyzing that data was also so much difficult, because we have to handle hundreds of registers, or hundreds of files, or thousands or millions of files. For reading that files and analyzing that files for a human being, it was very difficult job. It is also very challenging. So evaluating data was difficult. So the results or decisions that we take from that data, or from the analyzation, that was not so much accurate all the time, like interest rates, annual budgets, forecasting about the bad debt. That was also very difficult jobs, because analyzing the data is difficult. So a person was unable to study the data properly and then take this decision depending on the data. Now digital data accessibility is 24/7. We have central servers from which we can take the data, and we have to store that data. So each and every branch has a centralized data source, and same data is available for our branches, and that data is available 24/7. There is no need to post any data towards the main branch. We can store the data in digital form. So analyzing that data is also very easy. If we want to search a specific type of data, only we have to put a query inside the database, and we can access that data, and we can analyze that data. Different type of applications are available. By using that applications, we can study that data, and we can take the decisions. Now the decisions are more accurate, and we can take the decisions on the time. So decisions can be taken using expert systems, decision support systems, and management information system. That are the types of information system. Any type of information system can be used for the analyzation of the data. Competitive advantage. In previous days, searching data was very difficult. So establish a communication between different branches as well as between the branch and the customer was also very difficult task, because we have to search out the numbers or the contact details of our customer from postcards, and there were hundred and millions of postcards are available inside a single branch. For attaining the data from that postcards was difficult, so it was difficult to maintain a communication between the branch as well as between the customer. So making them satisfied was also a difficult job. So comparison between different branches was also very difficult, and there was no private banking sector was introduced in previous times, so there was no competitive environment was developed in previous days. So customer only have to rely on the government banks and their basic services. There is no extra service that are provided by the banks. We have, if we have any query or any complaint from the bank, we have to wait even for 2 weeks, 3 weeks for the sorting out that complaint takes months or weeks. So competitive advantage was not available in that times. Now we have different private banks as well as the government banks, so there is so much competition inside the world. So due to the globalization, competition is high, but banks can use it as a strategy. We can compare our performance with different banks, and we can update our services. We can provide the unique services to attract our customer. We can attain the attention of our customer by providing them the unique and fast access towards the data, and we can provide them the security as compare more security as compared to other banks. So we can take the advantage of competition nowadays. Banks can utilize customer feedback to improve their performance, because the storing of data and analyzing that data is easy now. We have different sort of applications, and by using that application we can analyze that data and we can take the decisions which services are required by the customers. So we can take the advantage of our competition. Now new services can be offered by analyzing new trends. We can take different type of feedback from different areas, and then we can analyze that feedback to before providing the new services towards our customers. We can take feedback from the customer before the throughout new services inside the market. Organization can offer unique products or services to compete their competitors. Now calculation, payroll and employment record maintenance. Because storing data was physical and in paper form, so calculation is also very time consuming and it was not so much accurate. So it will take 3 to 4 days to calculate the salaries, and if any increment is required, it is also very difficult to calculate that increments, because we are doing each and every work manually, and when we are calculating everything manually, it takes a lot of time, and there is also very risk of errors can be occurred inside that calculation. So payroll calculation was not so much accurate, and employee have to face different type of errors that occur during the calculation, and when they will put the complaint they have to wait consecutive 2 or 3 weeks for the rechecking of their calculations from the main branch or from the head office. So it is also very time consuming if there is any query for inside the calculation of payroll or inside the record. In the promotion of an employee, ECR, employee character report is also an important part or important tool. Depending on that ECR, the manager or the authorities can provide the promotions or upgradation inside the employment. And so maintaining that ECR was also a difficult job. These ECR was not updated all the time, because it takes a lot of time to put the comments inside the ECR, or a lot of time takes to maintain that ECR. So ECRs was not updated all the time, so promotions was not always accurate. Now all records are available in digital form, so it is easy for administration to maintain the records and ECR of employees. We have digital record of each and every employee, and we can access that record at any time, because we have a central device, a central server from which we can take the record 24/7. Now, annual increments are accurate and can be added shortly in the salaries. We can add the increments on quarterly basis, on the annual basis, or even on the monthly basis if there is any performance increment is required to add inside the salaries. So calculation is also very easy nowadays because we have different type of softwares and we are living in the digital world. So calculation is also very easy. So promotions are based on ECRs. So now the ECRs are fully updated and fully accurate. Customer relationship. In previous time, when we are not focusing the feedback of customer and we are not able to make a healthy relationship between the bank and the customer, because we have to do a lot of work inside our banks and that works required days or months. So no bank is focusing on the customer relationship because they have to search out their feedback, they have to analyze their feedback, and that is also a very time consuming task. So banks heavily relied on paper to record transaction and interaction with the customer. So organization can communicate only with existing customer. We are not offering new services to new customers. Now we can put different type of services on the social media pages and we can attract different type of customers from other banks. But at that time, in previous time, only we have to focus the existing customer because the banks was not so efficient to maintain the healthy relationship between the existing customer. Now searching new customer was not the easy task. Now delivering documents are whenever we have to send any important message to the customer, first thing is that we have to search their postcards from the store, and then we have to search their contact information, and then we have to deliver physical document towards the customer. So there is a lot of chance of loss of that paper, or the paper must not be delivered to the customer. There is a chance of loss of the record. So it is also a time consuming or risky job. So mostly customer have to visit the branch for communication, or a person from organization have to visit customer's place for the communication. So also it takes days to meet the customer to the bank person. Now we can upload new offers on the bank sites. We can use the social media. We can use different type of advertisement using electronic media, using paper newspapers. There are different sources available to provide the new services to the new customer as well as the existing customers. So searching new customer nowadays is very easy job. Now auto mails can be sent to the users or to a specific area. We can send the different type of text messages if we are offering the new services. Advertisements are available on social media. Now world is a global village because of internet technology. So it is easy to maintain the relationship between the customer and between the organizations, but the satisfaction of customer nowadays is very difficult because the different companies are available and we have to update over services as well as over organization. So meeting the requirements and meeting the satisfaction of customer is nowadays very difficult task because we have to add new services to our organizations. We have to follow the new trends. We have to rely on the feedback of our customers. We have to update our organization by using new technologies to compete with our competitors. Now complaints was because keeping data, maintaining data, and analyzing data in previous time was a challenging job. So whenever a customer is facing any problem, when he or she put any complaint to the bank, it is also very difficult to sort out that complaint or keep the record of that complaint inside the data record. There was a complaint box that was always full because it takes weeks or months to sort out the complaints. Because inside the banks, a lot of calculation is required, a lot of work is required because we are doing the manual work. There is no centralized system, there is no computer systems, there is no information system. So human have to do each and every task by itself himself. Taking record of feedback, analyzing that feedback for decision making and better performance was not easy because we have no applications that support our decisions. We have no applications that by using that application we cannot sort out the data, we cannot maintain our data, update our data. So it is very difficult to analyze the feedback as well as the data for the better decision making. Banks was busy to maintain their work so they can provide basic functionality, only basic functionality to the customers. Now nowadays we can make the complaints online. Only we have to send an email or we have to make a phone call to the helpline for registration of the complaint. So making complaint as well as taking the track of complaint also very easy, because we have a tracking ID of a complaint number, and by that tracking ID we can view the status of our complaint, either our complaint has sorted out or not. So making complaint and maintaining the record of that complaint is also easy for the banks. Suggestions can be posted on the bank website. They have a area for the feedback. We can post our feedback or comments on the banking websites or on their social media pages. Banks can sort out the complaints within 5 working days. Mostly complaints are resolved within 3 working days. 3 to 5 working days are required. Minimum 3 and the maximum 5 days are required to sort out any complaint. Banks can store feedback inside database and can use this data for analyzing trends and for the improvement of their performance, because now we are studying the feedback and we are also analyzing that feedback, and that feedback is helpful to maintain our performance or to upgrade the performance inside the bank. Now, planning of designing the information system. Now we will plan to design an information system for the university. We will divide that project in 4 disciplines or in 4 components. We will study the student information system, library information system, finance system, and faculty information systems. There are also very other operations are involved in the university information system, but these are the basic or general components of any university information system. Now, why we are using the university information system? As we all know, in previous time, all universities as well as banks are keeping their data in manual form. We have to fill out a manual form, and then we have to submit that form inside the university, and they will take the record of that form. But nowadays, different universities are providing online systems, so there is no need of that form filling as a manual form filling. The mission of university information system is to develop, enhance, maintain, and protect the academic, research, and administrative information resources of the university. We have to provide the updated services to our students as well as our faculty members as well as our parents. In other words, we can say that we have to make an intelligent system that can understand the needs of parents as well as students and as well as our faculty members. Now, first of all, student information system. In student information system, different disciplines are required, different components are involved in student information system. First thing is that admission, then billing of their fee and other expenses, attendance systems, result systems, study material, and communication along with the teachers. Now, first thing is that admissions. The university can maintain a website for the registration of student, and students have to enter all the valid information by using the forms that are available on the website of the university. After the registration, all the data will be transferred to the database, and that database is attached to the website of that university. Database manager can access, edit, and maintain the students' information by applying different techniques and tools like Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL Server, and Apache servers. These are the different applications available in form of databases, and the different websites can maintain these databases by using that applications. And if any record is missing from any student, the manager can send an email as well as a text message to that student and can take that specific record from that student. So relational database is suitable to store over data. In relational database, all the data records are that we have to create the tables for different disciplines or for different components, and these tables are related to each other. That is relational database, and we have to use the relational database system for the universities or for the admissions. Billing. In billing, the student can download fee challan from the website, and after printing of that challan, the student can pay the fee in any bank or any recommended bank. We can use the online banking for the billing of over fees. After updating information, student have to scan the challan, or the simply you can put the challan number or the any code that is provided by the bank, and the universities can check or can make the communication with the banks so they can update their system by analyzing how many students have paid their fee and how many are remaining. Also, we can scan the challan form and can submit the image towards the relevant person or the administration of the university. So there is no need to visit the university for submission of that challan. And the database can be used to manage the record or sort the student's record, and we can analyze whose payment is pending. Now, billing record can be stored in database system. Same database will use for the that purpose, but we have to design a separate table for billing system. Results for the now we are using the databases as well as the websites. We are using the digital systems, so viewing the result is also very easy, and we can see the record of results from the website. Students have to enter the only the registration number that are allotted by the university, and they can view all the information that is provided by the university in the data from the databases. Only we have to put the registration number or the roll number, and all the results will be shown in front of us. Student can download and print their results by sitting at home. There is no need to visit the university. No study material, slides, documents, ebooks. We have all the books in PDF form. Though, so the universities as well as teachers send these study materials in social media applications or on the websites. We can use the website on which we can upload data, so all the campuses can download that data from the website. So centralized systems can be used inside the universities. Different universities are maintaining their YouTube channels, and the video lectures are available for the help of the students. Now the questions and queries can be sent to the teachers using the email system, or we can update and we can send over queries on the social media applications, and the teachers can answer these queries by using these platforms. Now communication between the university as well as in between the student and teacher is also very easy. There are different sort of applications available like Zoom, MS Teams, WhatsApp, Facebook. These applications can be used for the communication between university, between students, and between teachers. Individual emails can also be sent for the communication. Students can post questions and feedback on websites. Parents can communicate with the teacher and can be awarded about the progress, can be aware about the progress of the students. The parents can also make communication with the university as well as with the teachers. Attendance system. No, there is no manual attendance systems are used. We can take the digital systems. We can take the attendance on the computer applications as well as on the we can take biometric attendance. In the end of month, the system will calculate attendance ratio or the percentage automatically. Student can check their attendance percentage semester wise or on annually basis. System can send auto messages or auto emails to the parents if anyone is not attending the university or the institute consecutive 2-3 days. Systems can calculate attendance marks according to the percentage, because in over systems attendance is also mandatory, so the marks can be used from the university, and the students can calculate the marks according to the percentage of their attendance. Now the second component of university information system is faculty information system. In faculty information system, attendance, payroll, admissions, results, study material, and communications is also required. Payroll, as we are using the digital systems for the calculation of payroll inside the banks, same systems can be used anywhere. We can use the MS Access database or MS Excel for the calculation of payroll, and that is less time consuming as compared to calculate the salaries on the manual basis. So these systems are efficient and there is less chance of errors. Different type of formulas can be applied by using these applications, so annual increments can be added by using these systems. So we can do our work quickly, efficiently, and timely. Now admission officer use the database to maintain all records of the student, and they can check all the necessary information is make available by the student or not. If any information is missing, The admission officer can send email as well as the text to the that specific student, and admission officer can search any student's record if any type of work is needed or any type of any student by using the different queries inside the databases. New students registration is easy now. Only we have, there is no need of paperwork, only we are putting the information inside the system in computer systems. Now results calculations also easy, because if individual teacher is sending or adding marks inside the result system, auto calculation will be performed, and the cumulative results can be calculated by using these systems. The system will assign different grades on according to the criteria that is stored inside the systems. We can use MS Excel or MS Access database for the calculation of our results. Programmer can design a window-based application. Different type of applications can be used by individual persons, or for the different universities can make it available for their faculty, so they can put or they can use that window-based application for the result calculation. And OMR is a device that is used to check MCQs of papers. We have to store the key of that paper inside the system, and the system will check all the MCQs and they will update the result. Now study material. So teachers can use the Zoom, YouTube channel, WhatsApp, MS Teams, Google Classroom for the guideline of the students. They can provide the study materials to the students by using these platforms. Now communications, parents, teachers, and students can use different applications for the communication, like Facebook, WhatsApp, email, Zoom, MS Teams. Faculty can answer the emails sent by the students if they have facing any problems. Faculty person can answer questions of student on the websites, or they can respond to their feedback that is sent on the feedback page. Parents and faculty can communicate with each other using the website, email, or social media. Attendance system, ID card scanner, fingerprint scanner, biometric can be used for the entrance of the attendance, and that devices are attached to the systems, so automatic attendance record is maintained inside the systems, and we can check that record. Now finance information system. In finance information systems, we have to design fee bills, expenses, and we have to calculate the annual budgets. Expenses, all expenses vouchers are entered in the database. Expenses can include the utility bills, repair and maintenance inside the building or on vehicles, or the utility bills that are paid by the university, like electricity bills or other bills. These are the expenses. Now the system will calculate monthly expenses as well as the annual expenses. We can compare the data of previous year to the current year to analyze either our expenses are increasing or decreasing. So we can take decisions according to that expenses, or we can take decisions how we can minimize our expenses to increase the profit ratios. So we can use different systems like decision support systems to minimize our expenses. Fee bills. System will calculate fee amounts on monthly and annually basis. Different programs have different fee structures, so we have to maintain the record according to that systems are according to different criteria. System will sort out fee defaulters and can send email or messages to that specific students. No annual budgets. The universities or the organization institutes can calculate the annual budgets digitally. They will calculate all the expenses like utility bills, maintenance costs, and staff salaries. After deducting the expenses, we can make the remaining amount and we can make budget from that remaining amount. So the system will calculate the receiving like fee bills, then after comparison budget will be generated. Auto system will make it possible that current budget becomes better than the previous one. Different type of information systems can be used. Again, we can use the decision support information system. So we have to take the decisions how we can make updation inside the budget better, how better and efficient budget can be generated. So policies makers can compare different years data to announce increments in staff salaries, bonuses, and other facilities that will attract the loyal employees. Fee structures can be updated by using that systems, because we can analyze how much increment is required inside the fees on annually basis. Now library information system. In library information system, We have to maintain the record of borrower. We have to maintain the record of books, fine calculations, and membership record will be maintained inside the library. Now, book record, we have to save the record of, we have to save the name of the book, author of the book, and we have to assign unique identity number to the book because we have same books with same title and same authors. So we are assigning different or unique identity to each book. So system will generate the record, and then they will arrange all the record according to the categories, and the quantity and the availability of book is also maintained. Systems can search for books by its name, author name, its name, title, subject, and identity number. Anything, any sort of information is used for the search of the book. System will add the new books in the records. So it is easy to maintain the record of the books inside the library. Membership record, the system will record all the information like member name, address, contact number, email, anything that is required to make the communication between the member and the library. All sort of all type of that information will be stored inside the system. Now the system will add new members and can remove the members who are not visiting the library. Now systems can send the reminders to the or persons who have borrowed the book if he or she is not returning that book. Fine calculation, if anyone have damaged the book or he or she have not returned that book at the specific times, the system will generate the fine according to the days. On number of days, and the system will calculate the fine. If any member will lose the book or make damage to the book, the system will calculate amount accordingly by viewing the cost of the book from the system. Record of borrower, issue date, return date, number, name of book, category of book, and members information system information will be added into the system. All things are added, and then system will mention borrowed book in the book record and change the availability of book. If and the availability of book is in quantity is 3, the one quantity will be subtracted from the availability of the books. The system will also update the availability of book. If the member is not returning the book, the system will send a reminder to that specific person. That reminder can be in text form, or that reminder can be in form of email. Is there any issue? I will send that lecture in the group. You can study that lecture. Okay, now have a nice day. Take care, and Allah Hafiz.